So with that, perhaps I can just, if you could raise your hand, I'll call off all your names in the order that you'll be speaking as well. Jill Guth of JSM, Rich Park and Jay Sikorsky of CBCDR, Dan Coffin of Keller Williams, John Kaiser of Birch Kaiser Realty, Alex Ruggieri and Dan Clark of Sprague Van Ness, Matt Cho of Cape Design Development, and I'll also speak a little about a couple RFPs the city has coming up. So with that, I'll turn things over to Jill and we'll get started.
So I'm Jill Guth. I'm Director of Commercial Leasing and Marketing for JSM. JSM is a family-owned company based in Champaign-Urbana. We've been around for about 40 years. We have over 1,500 apartments on campus and over 500,000 square feet of commercial space, which is both retail and office, a couple of speculative properties, and a couple of warehouses. So I want to talk very briefly about Gregory Place. This is our two-building development. The first building developed in 2004, the second in 2008. This is a partnership with the City of Urbana and the University of Illinois to redevelop East Campus retail. Both buildings have retail on the first floor. The first building has 96 one- and two-bedroom apartments above it. The second building, 2008, is the bigger building, first floor retail. The second floor is the home of the School of Social Work, 37,000 square feet of office space, and then 135 one- and two bedrooms above. Neither one of these buildings has ever had a residential vacancy. Gregory Place has had pretty good last 2 years as far as retail development. We've added Co-Fusion on campus. Two different clothing retailers, Pier 72 and Pier Boutique. We just recently announced Mad Plus, which is a Korean barbecue, which is going in the East Building. Ascend provides counseling services under contract with the University of Illinois. We also have Rosati's, Mary Ann's, and a couple back office Illinois uses. We only have 2 properties available at this time. The 2231 square foot next to Co-Fusion Mary Ann's is a vacant bank space. Be very good for an office use. It does not lend itself to an exhaust hood, so it would be very difficult to do a restaurant in this location. The other location is 1643 square feet. This is a cold shell at the present time. Does have the opportunity to vent. Both of these are priced at 18 triple net. So again, this is just real briefly what we have available, and this is the only things we have available at Gregory Place. Okay, thanks.
My name is Jay. I'm with Devonshire Realty, and again, we're just here to present 4 of the properties that we have. And the first one here is obviously an exciting property, County Plaza. On the 4th floor there, we're doing some new expansion, which is giving us some executive office, taking some of that common area space out of the building upstairs. There is also some space available on the 2nd floor. We offer on-site parking, and of course, the asking rate on that is $12 triple net. The next property is just down the street here. It's 400 North Broadway, otherwise known as the what is it? The nursing store. Stars uniform. That's correct. That was one of the medical marijuana buildings, but it didn't make the hit, so now it's back on the market and available for sale as well as for lease. $1,500 a month, triple net, and then of course for sale at $220. The next property I have is out in East Urbana Industrial Park. It's a part of the Tapman family estate out there. It's presently leased about 10,000 square feet to the University of Illinois. It's a 30,000 square foot building, available up to 50,000 with expansion. Presently available 20,000 square feet. It is available for lease at $450 triple net, in addition to available for sale at $1.650. And finally, on Philo Road, 1806 Philo Road, I have just over a half an acre available at $245,000. This is also available in the East Urbana Philo Road district, so plenty of incentives in this particular property. Rich, thank you.
All right, now it's me. Thank you, Jay. 4 Urbana listings that I would like to highlight. First one is the Gateway Shops at 5 Points, beautiful new construction retail center. Local developer Ivan Richardson began this project back in 2010. He built the first building there, fully leased it, so he's ready now. Beginning last year, he decided to build another 15,000 square foot building. 19 per square foot is the lease rate. It's 15,000 square feet. We have base sizes ranging from about 1,300 square feet to 12,000 square feet. The reason being is that our first tenant that we've secured is Wireless Mics, Verizon Cellular. They'll take 2,000 square feet on the east end cap of that building. We're looking to deliver that space in April in a couple months. It's a very high traffic intersection. It's actually the highest traffic intersection in Champaign County, with about 43,000 cars per day. So it's obviously a very good and popular retail center. We have Jimmy John's there right now, Pancheros, the U of I Credit Union, Rainbow Garden, neighboring businesses such as McDonald's, a new Wendy's is there, etc. The next one is a campus student housing investment. It's a 5-bedroom home. With all the high-rises going up on Green Street, it's a good thing that they're not building single-family homes. This one is 5 bedrooms, and it's for sale for $255,000. We've seen that a lot of students, and especially upperclassmen, like living in houses like this on campus. So it's a pretty attractive investment property. It's at the corner of Springfield and Kohler at 105 North Kohler. The zoning is actually R4, which is high-density multifamily, so it's a possible location for redevelopment for maybe an 8-unit apartment building. Next one is a freestanding restaurant, Miko, formerly Miko's Restaurant. It's at 407 West University, 5,100 square feet at $14 per square foot triple net. It's actually also for sale. It's a large property of 1.2 acres for $990,000. It's right across the street from Carl and close to U of I. Obviously has a fully built kitchen space, which not many of those are available right now. And tenant improvement allowance is available to redo the interior if a restaurant user would like, and ample parking available. And finally, the last one I have is 1720 Philo Road. It's a new construction, even though it was built in 2009. The developer, it went through foreclosure, so it's under new ownership now at $12 a foot for a lease. It's 13,000 square feet total. We have 2 tenants in there, Verizon and Labor Ready, and the base sizes range from 1,600 to 3,700 square feet. And we have brochures in the back too also for these. Thank you.
I've got some flyers I'll pass out on the property I'm promoting. You probably know of this property. It's been on the market quite a while, but I think it's time to do something with it. It's 26.1 acres out on North Cunningham, on the east side of Cunningham, across from the O'Brien Park. It's the Pickernell Farms. It's this family's motivated to settle the estate of this family and get this sold. It's listed, it's been reduced to $1.4 million. Ironically, just yesterday, we got an offer on it. We don't know whether we'll get together on this, but I certainly would be interested in talking to developers about that client. That client is not interested in the whole parcel. They need 6 or 8 acres, so a developer could come in there and scarf this up, resell to them, and have another 18 to 20 acres to work with. As you all know, the motel's being torn down just to the north of it, which would be an additional 4 acres available for that. The utilities are out there. It's one of the few land available at interstate exits here in the area. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that. I'm going to put some flyers in the back. It's Zone B3. We can put another automotive sales. We can do truck sales, trailer sales. There's a lot of things you can do with the B3 zoning. So I would encourage you to take a look at this, and I think the timing's right on this. So thank you.
I'm John Kaiser with Birch Kaiser Real Estate, and we're going to be talking about 4 different properties in Urbana. 3 of them are vacant ground ready for development, and 1 is a building on Cunningham. So we'll get started with the corner of University and Race. It's one of the few large tracts of ground that are left that's developable along University Avenue. It's 49,000 square feet, B3 zoning, great corner. You've got a light there. You've got a lot of room to get that developed. On the bottom there's a layout that shows you how the land actually is shaped. The second property is up on Lincoln Avenue in between Circle K and the fire station, just off the corner of Bradley and North Lincoln. This is about 0.36 or 0.63 acres of ground. B3 zoning also, all the utilities are there. It's ready to be developed. We've had some buildings laid out on this, and we think you can put around 5,900 square foot of building on this property and meet the parking requirements and all of that. It's priced at $275,000, and great location for a developer to come in and pick that up. The next property is a property that's for sale or lease. We do have 4,600 square feet in 605 North Cunningham, which is wide open space and 2 areas that could be used as office in the rear. $10 per square foot net is the lease price. It's got an overhead door on the back for good access. Fastenal has actually been in this building for about 9 years. Their lease is about up, and we'd like to get that released. The next property is 2000 North Cunningham. This is a great property. When you pull off the interstate, when you're pulling onto Cunningham, you look directly at this property. It's 0.8 of an acre. It's B3 zoning. You've got the ability to have a liquor license there and have some of the best visibility of any property along that stretch. It's really good. That's all we've got for today. Thank you.
I have 4 properties in downtown that I'm speaking about today. One is CoLab, which is located at 206 West Main Street. It's a co-working space. It works like a gym membership where you pay a monthly fee. There is no long-term lease or anything required, but it's usually for starters, entrepreneurs, creatives, freelancers, people that are tired of working at home or in a coffee shop and kind of want to have a legitimate location where they can place their business as well as plug into a network of like-minded starters and entrepreneurs. So we have definitely desks available there. The other one is just office space. We do anywhere from 700 to 2,000 square feet. We have availability of about 2,000 square feet at the 129 North Race building. We can build a suite, and we do gross rent, so no triple net, anything that might be a little bit confusing to some of the early stage startups that we usually rent to. The other one is 401 North Broadway. We are specifically looking for retail type tenants, so if anyone knows any brewers or people that want to have their own beer hall, we're looking for that specifically as an anchor, and then also a bakery in downtown. So if you know any of those 2 types of uses, we're building essentially an indoor market that will house those 2 as anchors, but then allow for other food-based entrepreneurs to locate together and kind of leverage each other's network and hub effects. Other stuff, I guess, is not really real estate related, but I also work with a company in Chicago. We do energy audits for multifamily properties. So if any of you have large apartment complexes and are looking for audits that will help save energy as well as access to grants that might lower the cost for that build out, please get in touch. In addition, we've made a big push to get fiber for businesses in downtown. I know a lot of the focus has been for residential and neighborhoods, but because of all the things that have happened in downtown with a lot of the startup culture, a lot of the tech firms that have moved in. We really want a fiber network within the heart of downtown to support those type of businesses and provide opportunities for other entrepreneurs to come in and access that bandwidth. I know I went through that a little quickly, but essentially everything that I described is on the northwest side of Main Street. So where Siam Terrace is, that's where CoLab is housed, as well as some of the office space that we are currently leasing, or currently have leased. The one up north, right there, is Ray Street. That's where we have about 2,000 square foot of office space available. And towards the north as well, that building. Towards the northeast, what was also supposed to be a medical marijuana hub, they didn't get their license, so we're trying to reinvent this 18,000 square foot of warehouse space into this market idea or concept. Also, if anyone wants to operate a flower shop, we do have outdoor space for that. Just rambling now, so. That's, yes, right where, is that the boneyard? That one. That one that's kind of angled? Yeah, yep. Yeah, so we're looking to have a bakery tenant in kind of a small little piece up front. They're gonna demo about maybe a quarter of the eastern half for more parking, but that leaves about 12,000 square feet for a brewery tenant, as well as multiple market-based food or retail vendors.
I just want to say something before we present with regard to what we're all participating here today. Number one, I want to thank you all for coming. It's been one of the greatest turnouts Urbana's had on a session like this. But the idea of hearing from the real estate community and the brokerage community is one that's a little dear to my heart. I participate all over the country in marketing sessions. I call it the secret world of marketing sessions. And currently, I think right now there's over 100 million in construction going on up and down University Avenue and other parts of Champaign that are a direct result of participating in marketing sessions. And the idea is that the real estate community collaborates and cooperates and things happen. We had a marketing session, first time we have had one in Champaign in over 30 years at the I Hotel a few months ago. Several transactions came out of that, and even some here in Urbana that are currently under due diligence. So this is kind of a very special thing Urbana is doing, and I just want to acknowledge that and give thanks to Libby and Brandon and everybody in Urbana for their leadership, and all of you for your participation. Okay, this is the Berkey's Farm store formerly. We worked with them to keep them in Urbana, and you may be aware of their new 50,000 square foot retail showroom on US 130 sitting on 20 acres along with corporate offices. This is the property that they vacated. There's about 3.5 acres on that property. It's got access to 74 off of University Avenue, 32,000 square feet of buildings. The thing that's important about this is that they are willing to subdivide that property into smaller parcels. So if you have a business user who needs a shop space, they can carve that out. If somebody needs a place for their rolling stock, this is a fantastic property. It's all fenced in, and of course they have very nice corporate offices there. So we just want to bring that to your attention. It's priced at just a little under $1.3 million, and fantastic opportunity for anybody who has a business in Urbana. And we'll hear from Dan on one more property we've got. Thank you.
David Clark, I work with Alex. I know most of you in the room, but nice to meet the ones I haven't met before. I'm going to talk about the 1901 South High Cross Road. This used to be the old TK Windows. It was owned and operated successfully for about 20 years. It's been turned over a few times and now it's vacant. The owner is extremely aggressive with wanting to get this property moved. In fact, we've broken it down into, breaking it up into parcels for potential development. What you can't see here behind that restaurant is about 20 acres that backs up to the Stone Creek developments right behind that. Right across the street from here is the new Berkey's development. The property that Alex just presented on is their old property. The High Cross Road, they just basically completely redid the road systems. This property does have all the utilities run to the to the roads there. And there's actually an additional 14 acres on the property that we don't have openly marketed, but could be bought. So you could pick up a total here of about 34 acres. And one of the cool things that we've done here with this property is none of it's been subdivided, so if somebody did want it subdivided, say they wanted to buy a parcel here, turn that into retail, they could. Or you could just buy this restaurant with about 2 acres of land for a rock bottom price of like $399,000, and it's got full built out kitchen, fully wired. There's TVs in there. It's one of the better deals that Alex and I have listed. We didn't want to bore you guys too much with talking through all of our listings, so I've left a bunch of pamphlets that'll be in the back. You guys can grab our email addresses, phone numbers are on there. Call us if you need any additional information, and thanks for your time.
Again, I'm Brandon Boyce, the Economic Development Manager for the City of Urbana, and I'm going to talk about 2 upcoming proposals that the City is going to be issuing very soon. So the first you've heard about, maybe you've been hearing about it for a number of years. It's 200 South Vine. It's at the intersection of Vine Street and Green. This is a property that the city acquired and assembled, and Goodyear is in the process right now of moving out of that location. In fact, I think they might even be open as of today at their new North Cunningham location. So this property is ready to go. The city is motivated, and we consulted with CBRE out of the main consultant we're working with is out of Indianapolis, but also a broker out of Chicago, and they are going to be helping us get the word out. This RFP is going to be issued by the end of the month. It's 1.75 acres. I already mentioned where it's located, very close to the farmer's market, and we are really interested in seeing the mixed use at this property, potentially a small amount of retail or office, depending on what the market would bear. In general, though, this location is sort of beyond the ring of what is viewed as desirable for student housing, with the exception maybe of graduate students, students with families, working professionals, and so we expect that we would see a good mix of folks who would be willing to live at this location. And the amenities in downtown have really only grown in the last 3 years. We've had so many restaurants, and this property represents Vine Street's been something of a barrier, I think, for our urban development. And so we are looking, we would love to see something urban scale at this site. However, we wanted to be respectful of the fact that it's going to transition right into a neighborhood, a very nice neighborhood in East Urbana. So those are, in broad strokes, what we're hoping to hear responses for in the upcoming RFP that will be issued shortly. The next one you probably haven't heard about. I've dubbed it North Crane Alley. We'll see what it actually ends up being called. But this is properties that are owned by Bob Venable and the city of Urbana. So you don't have your bearings yet. Broadway is on to the east, Race is to the west, Main Street is to the south. Bunny's is smack dab in the middle. And Mr. Venable, who owns the property, also owns the old Jolly Roger building, private parking lot that's currently leased to Black Dog, directly adjacent to Black Dog. city and, let's go ahead and advance. The city and Mr. Venable entered into a memorandum of understanding, and we're going to be issuing a joint RFP. It's a 1.4 acre site, and it's right in the heart of downtown. And this is an area where we'd really like to see, as a city, some intensification, some more urban scale development, and probably, again, mixed use, and ideally some retail mixed in there too. Because of the existing uses of the site, Bunny's is intended to be a continued presence on the site. And so really all we're going to be saying in the RFP is that it's got to be better than what's there before, somehow better for Bunny's. That could mean a new building, that could mean renovated, and we're really looking for creative ideas that are going to appeal to Mr. Venable and his long-term interest in maintaining Bunny's presence in downtown Urbana. The other major use is, of course, parking. And there's 2 city lots, that's why the city's involved in this call. So what we're very interested in hearing from are proposals to offer as much or potentially more parking in an intensified format, most likely a small deck or something to that effect, so that we can have core downtown parking where it's most desired by our local businesses. And again, that one will be out by the end of the month as well. So we're really looking forward to hearing more from developers and businesses about those sites. I want to thank our panelists, if we can all give them a hand. And we have time for some questions. We got done a little ahead of time. So does anyone have any questions about any of the sites that were presented to you today that you'd like to ask for the group?
Or anybody like to buy anything?
We can start bidding now. If not, is there anyone in the audience here today who'd like to give their quick pitch on something, up to a minute maybe? Any properties you want to talk about?
Hi, I'm Dustin. I'd like to follow up with what Matt was introducing about 129 Race Street. Just to point out that it does have, as Matt said, quite a few different features. It does have a lot of great parking. Upstairs for tech, and first floor we have space available. So I just wanted to get that in front of everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Dustin. Anybody else? All right, well, that's going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for attending today and continuing to do good things in Urbana. I think there's still more lunch, and please stick around and have a good time. Thank you.